I'm gonna shield this. I mean, if they have Gunk Shot, then GG's. I'm gonna call that they don't. Let's see what they have. Yo, imagine if I called a Gunk. There's no way, right? That would be like the funniest thing. Oh, I caught a Hyper Beam. That's amazing. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. A lot of my patrons have been climbing a lot with one of my previous teams, the Tapu Fini Shadow Drapion Steelix line. And I decided to give it a shot myself too, especially with the lack of Nidoqueen in the meta. It makes the team even stronger. Nidoqueen leads are really tough. On top of that, there's an increased usage of Charizard as well, which Tapu Fini completely walls off. I played a lot of my Go Battle Day sets running this team. I had a lot of success with it in the 3200s range. And if you don't have the Shadow Drapion, it's totally okay to use a non-Shadow Drapion, though the Shadow Drapion does hit quite hard. I personally like the non-Shadow Steelix. Personally, the bulk on the Steelix has really come clutch for me quite a bit, so that's why I like the non-Shadow. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. Going into this very first matchup here, we have a Alolan Muk, which is pretty rough for this Tapu Fini. You are doing neutral damage, but the poison jabs and acid spray really add up. And this one is a poison jab variant. And we draw out the Scrafty here. So for those that like my Trevenant Shadow Drapion Bastion line, that was kind of the inspiration for this team. That original line actually had a Tapu Fini instead of Trevenant in the first iteration. I tried Trevenant with this version. It's not nearly as strong. It's also very, very weak to Talonflame and Fire leads, whereas Bastion is much stronger into that than Steelix is. So I decided to use a Tapu Fini instead, and it is much better in my opinion. You are able to, I am able to Water Gun down here, and they actually come in Trevenant here. So this gives me an opportunity to grab a shield or do a good solid chunk of damage, and they choose to shield it. And now we can just potentially match shields, although it is a C-Bomb, not ideal, but we're going to go for this crunch. Steelix is very bulky. You could technically tank 2 Shadow Balls, but you don't want to take too much damage here, and honestly, this damage is going to be much more important than anything the Muk is going to throw. I'm going to go straight for this Psychic Fangs. I really want these Dragon Tails to start adding up here, and the main thing is Crunch is also resisted. I don't really have Earthquake here, so I could pretend to bait it, but at the end of the day, the sooner I get these Psychic Fangs off, the sooner the health goes down for this Alolan Muk. So we are going to keep throwing here. I do go for a Crunch at this point because I just want to take out this Muk. And we actually grab a shield here. So the Trevenant comes back in, and they're forced to throw the energy. I didn't mind staying in here because I knew they couldn't Shadow Claw me down. Like a Water Gun down here. This Muk does have some energy, so this is where it gets a little scary with the Acid Spray, but even when debuffed, I am still able to Water Gun down. So kind of a close one, but again, that bulk on the non-Shadow Steelix really coming in clutch there. The Shadow Steelix will still be able to tank quite a bit as well. You just can't take as much damage in return. All right, again, another Scrafty counter here too. Really, this Drapion is really trying to lure out these different dark types, especially the counter users and stuff like that, so that the Steelix has a lot of wiggle room here. Drapion's not really hardwalled by too much in this meta, so it is fairly solid. Alright, so here comes my Tapu Fini. Actually, Tapu Fini, I guess, is one of the few things that does wall it off outside the Poison Sting with this moveset. But the Aqua Tail spam is just too good to give up, in my opinion. Alright, and now they have a Walrein in the back. So this matchup is kind of weird. You could tank an Earthquake, but you don't really want to. And if you think about it, nothing that this Deoxys Defense is going to throw is really threatening for me. So I might as well just burn my shields against the Walrein here. And then they are charging up a lot of energy here. So I'm going to shield a potential Earthquake. And it is going to be Earthquake, so that's pretty big for me. And then I go for a fast move down. They do get to one more Icicle Spear, but I knew there's no way they get to Earthquake in time. And this is where it gets a little dicey. We're going to have to play some bait games here. They don't shield the Psychic Fangs. And I'm going for another one. Let's see if we grab a shield there. And we do grab one shield finally. Can we get the last shield? We're going for it. We are going for it, and it looks like they do burn the last shield. It's a good use of their shields because it's super effective damage. Moonblast is just neutral, so a Surf. But unfortunately, they do get to another move. Now, what is this? Psycho Boost. Unfortunately, not enough damage. And we are able to get the Moonblast off, just barely finishing off the Deoxys Defense and can Water Gun down. So, again, a lot of super close matchups. There's a lot of dominating matchups. I just didn't include it because the content's not nearly as good. There's a lot of people that just top left after like the second Pokemon. So, that'll happen too. Like Dragon Breath, Giratina, Charizard, Talonflames, those are all really easy leads. Alright. Oh my goodness, Cranberry. You don't like the mirror matchup? So, in this mirror matchup, I almost always bait Surf. The problem is their Tapu Fini is so much stronger into your backline than maybe this Tapu Fini is. But you just need to get rid of it, right? Because once you get rid of it, you have a lot of play here. Steelix does not like it at all. Alright. They come in Regirock here, and there goes Cranberry. Regirock is going to be an interesting one. These are super effective Aqua Tails, but the Poison Stings are resisted, and it is quite bulky. So I'm going to shield Stone Edge here. Really, I want shields down for my Steelix against that Trevenant. Unfortunately, we don't get to... I probably should have thrown a move there, but I chose not to. I thought I could just Poison Sting down. And here comes that Trevenant. I'm going to go straight away for that Crunch, just because I know I could tank 2. Oh no, I guess I go for the Psychic Fangs here. Oh, I thought I was going to go for it. But the bait came in handy there, and honestly, as long as you bait, the Dragon Tails start adding up quite a bit, and they're forced to throw the energy, and I could probably just Water Gun down after this. So I'm going to come in, Water Gun down, and they're going to concede the match. Alright, Pidgeot. This is an interesting one. So you get to the Surf right when they get to the Brave Bird / Feather Dance. Now, what they throw here is really going to be a 50-50 call. Unfortunately, in this situation, it's going to be a Feather Dance. A lot of times it's Brave Bird, and it's fine because you grab a shield right back, and you don't get debuffed. But I'm showing you the scenario of when you do get debuffed, because this is worst case scenario. How do you play this out? I go straight away to Drapion. We do get a shield there. I'm down a shield already. There's probably a less likely chance that they're going to bait here. And that's exactly what they do. They go straight for the Brave Bird. It's a safe play for them because they're already up a shield. And now they come in this Swampert here, going straight for the Earthquake. I'm going to just throw my Surf before they get to another Earthquake. I just want to get the Swampert out of the way, and they no shield. So this is fantastic. And now they have a Jellicent in the back. Unfortunately, it is actually a Bubble Jellicent, so the damage is going to start adding up. But we have some play here. There's a lot of neutral matchups on both ends here. Unfortunately, the problem for me is I don't have shields, so I don't have that going for me. But they do come in with their Pidgeot here to catch, and I'm going to just stay in here because, again, these wing attacks are not doing much damage, and they're forced to throw the energy. And now I can just Water Gun all the way down, and they're going to concede the match right there because they know I'm going to get to a Moonblast. So yeah, even if you end up shielding Feather Dance, no big deal. There's still a lot of play. Alright, Swampert. I find that about 90% of these Swamperts typically throw Hydro Cannon. They don't go for the Earthquake, so I typically don't shield. Once in a while, I will shield what I might think is an Earthquake. It just depends on my mood and how I'm reading the opponent. This opponent is going to throw Hydro Cannons. Probably my fault. I should have thrown a Surf before they got to the third one, but I thought they were going to just at least build up to the Earthquake. But it was smart play by them to chip me down further. And now here comes a Galarian. So this is actually a pretty hard wall to Drapion. Yes, the Aqua Tails are neutral, but the Poison Stings are pretty dismal here. And the Aqua Tails are just not doing enough. And their typing is just super strong that there's just no way you could flip Switch Advantage no matter how many times you shield. So I'm just going to let this go. But my main objective is get this Galarian low enough so that I can Water Gun down potentially with my Tapu Fini. The problem with my Tapu Fini is there's not a lot of health on it. So I'm forced to shield a Sacred Sword, which is not ideal. But I'm going to just keep charging up energy. And we do throw a Surf. They actually catch it on their Pidgeot. Because of that, I'm going to come and Steelix right away. Again, we can hardwall this pretty well. I'm going to throw a Psychic Fangs before I get nerfed here by a Feather Dance. In all likelihood, they're going to throw a Feather Dance. Yeah, so here comes Feather Dance. But the good news is when you get Feather Dance here, your attack's debuffs, which means you get more energy. So we're farming a lot of energy here and took minimal damage. And these Psychic Fangs are going to start adding up against this Cobalion. Yeah, we're able to just Water Gun down after that. Alright, Registeel. This is a tough one. Mainly because it's the Zap Cannon is pretty deadly and nothing on this team truly beats it, so you kind of have to do a tag team effort. Now, if they don't debuff you here, I stay in, and the RNG was on our side here, so we get another Surf Off. But I'm going to swap out here. I don't feel like burning both shields in the lead matchup. That's just not the best idea, especially if they have like a Swamp or something back. I just get swept. Drapion can tank quite well. I don't think I got debuffed again, actually, so the odds are really, really in my favor here. They're going to go for Feather Dance here, and we're going to throw a Crunch. This Crunch is going to not be that effective, but we get a defense drop. So the odds, again, really, really working in our favor here. Yeah, more Crunch debuffs than Zap Cannon debuffs is kind of wild. Alright, and then I throw a Crunch here. Maybe I should have swapped out because I'm debuffed. I think they got another, yeah, I got another debuff there. Kind of wild. And again, we don't get debuffed here. Yeah, something's up. 3 Zap Cannons, no debuffs. 2 out of 3 Crunches, debuffs. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But the problem is this Brave Bird is going to do a lot of damage, and they have a Shadow Charizard in the back. So unfortunately, even with all the odds in my favor, it is just not going to pan out here in this matchup. But yeah, typically speaking, Registeels are a little bit tough. I've beaten a decent amount with this team. You just need a tag team, and it really depends on really what the other 2 Pokemon are. Alright, Galarian Stunfisk. This is a pretty solid matchup here. The other Steel type, fortunately, they're taking super effective from the Water Guns and Surf. You do have to watch out for the Earthquake. I find that most that let their Galarian Stunfisk get this low will typically go straight for the Earthquake, which is exactly what they do. And now they come in Swampert, but this is kind of tricky. My backline doesn't want to see the Swampert either. So even though this is a great matchup for the Tapu Fini and the Galarian Stunfisk, Tapu Fini can't really take out both of them by himself. Or by herself, and so we are going to shield Earthquake, and then I'm actually going to swap and try to catch Earthquake on the Steelix. They shield Steelix again here. I'm just using it as a meat shield. Now this sounds like a bad idea, a Shadow Earthquake, but the thing is they can't much shot me down, so they're forced to throw their Hydro Cannon here. So that's actually kind of good for me. Now, I don't think they could get to Earthquake in time. They could get to a potential Hydro Cannon, but they can't get to Earthquake before I get to this Aqua Tail. Luckily, they don't throw anything here, so I'm able to take it out, and then going straight for another Aqua Tail. I'm thinking there might be a Trevenant in the back, or some type of Grass type, something to beat the Tapu Fini. And I Water Gun down, and it is going to be the Trevenant. But they're going to concede because I still have a full health Drapion. So, again, using that Steelix as a meat shield is very crucial. Alright, this is a weird one, too. This one's actually harder for than Swampert because they're taking resisted Water Guns. So I'm going to have to start baiting here too, because Moonblast takes a lot of energy to get to, or a lot of time, I guess. And I'm going to let this next one go. Non-stab Earthquake is not super deadly, but we do throw a Moonblast here, and then I'm going to swap straight to my Drapion. I'm going to show the potential Earthquake here, and they actually go Weather Ball, so a little unfortunate, but that's okay. Alright, so now they're coming in with the Mandibuzz. Again, the luck is working in my favor. We get a defense drop here, and I'm sure I need to spam out these Aqua Tails. My plan right here is to potentially swap over to my Tapu Fini once my timer's up. We're a little desynced here, so I'll get a little bit of Water Gun damage here against the Mandibuzz, but what I need to do is charge up to a Crunch first so that I could take out the Politoed afterward. So yeah, so because I built up to Crunch, unfortunately I wasn't able to our timers were not that misaligned anymore, but this Politoed does have to throw the energy to get rid of this Tapu Fini, so that's what they're going to do, and now I can finish this off with a Crunch. I haven't seen what the third Pokemon is though, but hopefully it's not something great against Steelix, especially with the Politoed in the lead. You would think that they're probably a little bit weaker to Steelix in the back. Alright, and then here comes the Mandibuzz. We are able to catch what might be an Aerial Ace, and it is an Aerial Ace, which is huge. And then it's going to be a Charmalone Ninetales. So this is going to be an interesting one. You're doing, I'm doing double resisted Dragon Tails here, but they are also doing resisted Charms. And yeah, the Psychic Fangs are going to start adding up, but the Dragon Tail itself is not really doing that much damage. And this is getting really dicey here. So the timers are quite low. I still have an Octo banked, or I believe I'm close. So I get to it, and we're going to throw this, and their debuff is enough to take it out? No. Timeout, do we win? We barely win. The health was super close on both ends. At that point, because we both had 2 Pokemon left, they just calculated the highest total percentage of health on both Pokemon combined, and we barely win on that one. If you're looking for a team to climb in Open Ultra League, I think this is a really fun one. That Steelix is super bulky too, so once you get using it, you'll really understand what I mean by it. Sorry, I don't have my cats with me for the outro, but I have a flight to catch, so I don't have time to grab them up. But thank you all for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye.